This JTS Mortgage Minute is brought to you by JTS and Company Mortgage Professionals.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of our Mortgage Minute with JTS and Company. Jeff, always a pleasure to have you.
Good to see you as well.
Yes. So I think this week the question is FHA loans or conventional loans. Which one's better?
Well, you know, it really depends on the borrower and what their circumstances are. Both are good loan programs depending on what the circumstances are and what you're trying to accomplish. So conventional has added benefits. FHA is a little bit easier to qualify for sometimes. We use that a lot of times for first-time home buyers because sometimes it has a little bit or a lesser down payment than, say, a conventional loan typically does. But really, it's going to be specific to the borrower and what their needs are.
All right, wonderful. And what's the most popular of the two and why?
Well, you know, neither one is probably more popular than the other. Again, it's specific depending on what the borrower's needs are. You know, somebody typically with a little bit lower credit score, sometimes FHA is a better fit because the underwriting requirements on it are a little bit easier to come by, so, as opposed to a conventional loan. See, a conventional loan has no government insurability behind it, so the borrower really stands on their own 2 feet from an underwriting standpoint. So if you've got, you know, a sizable down payment down, really high credit scores, then conventional long-term is probably going to be a little bit better option. If credit scores are a little low, say in the 640, 650, 660 range, then FHA is probably going to prove to be a little bit better from a pricing standpoint when it comes to the interest rate, and also minimizes the down payment requirement, only having to put 3.5% down, opposed to say 3% to 5% on the conventional loan.
Now, Jeff, if we have a viewer, let's say, who's interested in, you know, either loan, what should they do to apply?
Well, you know, that's really where we come in. You know, and right now we're getting ready into the spring buying season, and people are really have already kind of started a little early this year, getting out there and looking and going ahead and trying to buy because there's still some really good buys out there. But, you know, that's where we come in. The first step really is to get pre-qualified. Come in, let us sit down with you, see what your options are. Sometimes you've got 4 options, you know, say a VA, FHA, rural housing, and conventional. You may have all those available to you. Sometimes you only have 1 or 2 options available to you. So us sitting down and working with you will help you determine which is the best route to go. And then you go out there and you're a better, more informed buyer. You're able to better negotiate your contract. The realtor that you're working with is going to like it better because they know that you're pre-qualified, and your chance of getting approved for your loan are really good.
And what are the current rates for these loans?
Well, you know, rates are a moving target. They change on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. You know, we're still in very low historic territory, and I think we're going to see that kind of hold out. We'll see these ebbs and flows where rates will climb a little bit on any given day. Last week we started out the week a little higher, finished up a little lower towards the end of the week as some economic data came out. But we're going to see rates just kind of bounce around in this range probably at least through the first half of this year, depending on how the economy, you know, economy's starting to get some traction, gain some ground, and as that takes off, we'll see rates start to rise a little bit. But on average, on a 30-year fixed, you know, ranging between 3 3/4 to 4 3/4, depending on the type of loan you're doing, the terms and those kind of things. 15 years, still in the mid-3s. So we've got a lot of people still coming down from 30-year, 20-year mortgages down to 15 and 10-year mortgages on a refinance. You know, if you can refinance and drop down to a 10 or 15, a tremendous amount of savings there for you.
Wow. As always, great information, Jeff.
Absolutely.
And let me remind all our viewers out there that if you would like to view the last couple weeks of episodes, you can view it at JTS & Co.'s Facebook page. You can just go online and log on to that. And, of course, you can tune in next week for another great Mortgage Minute and call if you want more information. That number is 662-329-9090, or to pre-qualify, you can text JTS at 48421. And again, Jeff, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, glad to. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more Sunrise after this.